Insulin resistance is one of the most misunderstood conditions among older adults. Yet, research from Harvard Medical School consistently shows that it is not only reversible, but highly responsive to lifestyle changes, even after age 60. Scientists at the University of Oxford explain that the main reason seniors develop insulin resistance is not age itself, but years of cellular stress, reduced muscle mass, and dietary habits that overwhelm the body's natural balance. What surprises many people is how quickly the body begins to respond once better habits are introduced, something also supported by ongoing studies at Johns Hopkins University. They found that older adults who improve their eating patterns, even in small ways, see measurable improvements in insulin sensitivity within weeks. A major factor highlighted by Stanford University's School of Medicine is the type of carbohydrates consumed. Their research shows that refined sugars and white flour cause rapid spikes in glucose that force the pancreas to release higher levels of insulin. But when seniors shift toward whole foods such as vegetables, lentils, eggs, chicken, nuts, and low-sugar fruits, the body experiences steadier glucose levels. This allows cells to rest and recover, which the University of Cambridge notes is essential for reducing the burden placed on insulin receptors. Seniors who begin meals with protein instead of starches often see a smoother glucose response, something verified in several peer-reviewed studies from the University of Toronto, and also mirrored in findings from the Cleveland Clinic in the United States. Increasing daily movement is another proven tool. Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health reports that even a 10-minute walk after meals can significantly improve glucose uptake. This is because muscles act like sponges, pulling sugar out of the bloodstream. Research from the University of Birmingham in the UK showed that older adults who practice light resistance exercises, such as wall push-ups, seated marches, or simple band routines, become more insulin sensitive within a short time frame. Muscle tissue remains one of the strongest predictors of metabolic health, and the Mayo Clinic emphasizes that seniors who maintain or rebuild a small amount of muscle often gain better blood sugar control than those relying on medication alone. Sleep, according to a large study from the University of Pennsylvania, affects insulin resistance more than most people realize. Even one night of poor sleep can reduce insulin sensitivity the next day. Yale University researchers found that older adults who improved their sleep routine, avoiding late snacks, keeping lights dim in the evening, and going to bed at consistent times, experienced better morning glucose and reduced cravings. This aligns with findings from King's College London, showing that sleep plays a major role in reducing inflammation and stabilizing metabolic hormones. Chronic stress is another hidden driver. Stanford researchers confirmed that elevated cortisol levels from prolonged worry or loneliness increase insulin resistance. That is why simple habits like deep breathing, gentle stretching, prayer, gratitude, or talking to loved ones show measurable metabolic benefits. The University of Michigan highlights that emotional well-being is strongly linked to lower fasting glucose levels. Hydration also matters more than most people know. Studies from UCLA demonstrate that mild dehydration thickens the bloodstream, making glucose harder for the body to manage. Seniors who increase water intake throughout the day support better metabolic function without any complicated effort. One of the biggest realities confirmed by Harvard Medical School is that seniors can dramatically improve their metabolic health simply by changing how their body uses energy throughout the day. Researchers at the University of Cambridge note that as people cross age 60, muscle loss becomes one of the biggest reasons insulin resistance increases. Muscle tissue is the primary site where glucose is absorbed, and studies from the Mayo Clinic show that even small improvements in muscle activity help the body respond better to insulin. This means older adults do not need long workouts. They only need short, consistent movement to trigger positive metabolic changes. Scientists at Stanford University explain that a few minutes of light activity after meals can help muscles pull more glucose out of the bloodstream, creating steadier blood sugar levels throughout the day. Johns Hopkins University has reported that seniors who incorporate gentle strength exercises, like holding onto a chair for support, doing light arm lifts, or using soft resistance bands, experience measurable improvements in glucose control within weeks. The Cleveland Clinic adds that older adults who maintain even modest muscle strength show better insulin sensitivity than those who remain inactive, even if they weigh the same. This means weight alone is not the primary factor. It is muscle health and energy usage that matter most. Researchers at the University of Oxford have also emphasized that slow, controlled movements stimulate mitochondria, the energy factories of the cells, allowing the body to burn fuel more efficiently. Another important factor highlighted by Yale University is the timing of movement. Their research suggests that post-meal activity improves glucose metabolism better than exercising at random times of the day. Even walking indoors, marching in place, or performing gentle stretches can send signals that help glucose enter the cells more easily. Meanwhile, King's College London has discussed how balance exercises and mobility drills improve circulation, which indirectly supports better metabolic regulation by lowering inflammation markers associated with insulin resistance. Sleep quality plays a deeper role than most seniors realize. According to the University of Pennsylvania, older adults who experience interrupted sleep often show higher insulin resistance the next morning, not because of food choices, but because of hormonal imbalance caused by poor rest. Researchers at UCLA found that improving sleep hygiene, avoiding caffeine late in the day, reducing bright screens at night, and creating a predictable sleep routine helps stabilize metabolic hormones like cortisol and leptin. These hormones influence cravings, appetite, and how effectively the body manages glucose. Emotional health is another element that affects metabolic function. Studies from the University of Michigan indicate that chronic stress raises cortisol, which makes insulin work less effectively. Seniors who practice deep breathing, short relaxation techniques, or mindfulness exercises recommended by Harvard's MindBody medicine program often report lower stress levels and better blood sugar readings. Oxford researchers also note that social connection plays an important role. Older adults who stay socially active tend to show better metabolic control due to lower long-term stress markers. Hydration, according to research presented by Johns Hopkins Medicine, supports overall metabolic balance by helping maintain proper blood volume and circulation. Even mild dehydration, as noted by the Mayo Clinic, makes glucose stay more concentrated in the bloodstream, which makes the body work harder to process it. One of the most important findings reported by Harvard Medical School is that insulin resistance in older adults is deeply influenced by lifestyle patterns that develop slowly over decades. Researchers at the University of Oxford note that the body becomes increasingly sensitive to stress, sleep patterns, and dietary choices after the age of 60, which means even small improvements can lead to noticeable metabolic benefits. Johns Hopkins University has shown through their aging studies that seniors who make daily adjustments to their routine, such as improving hydration, adjusting meal timing, and reducing sugar intake, experience better blood glucose responses and more stable energy levels. These benefits appear even in individuals who previously struggled for years with blood sugar fluctuations. The University of Cambridge highlights the importance of controlling portion sizes and simplifying meals. Their clinical nutrition team found that older adults who consume balanced portions of protein, fiber-rich vegetables, and healthy fats see smoother glucose curves throughout the day. This supports findings from Stanford University, where researchers observe that focusing on nutrient quality rather than strict dieting leads to better long-term metabolic outcomes. The Mayo Clinic adds that the digestive system changes with age, making high-sugar foods and heavily processed meals more likely to spike insulin levels. Seniors who adopt gentler eating patterns, such as slow chewing and earlier dinner times, tend to show improved fasting glucose levels and reduced inflammatory markers associated with insulin resistance. Studies from King's College London emphasize the role of timing between meals. Allowing the body longer periods without constant snacking gives insulin levels a chance to stabilize. This is similar to research from the University of Toronto, where controlled eating windows were associated with improved metabolic flexibility in older adults. Yale University has also highlighted that late-night eating increases insulin resistance because the body becomes less efficient at processing glucose in the evening. By shifting meals earlier in the day, seniors often experience better sleep and steadier blood sugar, a pattern confirmed by the University of Pennsylvania's metabolic research team. Emotional well-being is equally important. The University of Michigan reports that older adults experiencing chronic stress show higher fasting insulin levels due to prolonged cortisol exposure. Harvard's Mind-Body Medicine program recommends simple practices such as deep breathing, structured relaxation, or short daily gratitude exercises to help reduce stress hormones that interfere with insulin function. Oxford researchers expanded on this by showing that social engagement such as spending time with friends, joining senior groups, or maintaining family interactions reduces loneliness-driven stress and supports better metabolic control through improved hormonal balance. Hydration remains one of the simplest tools supported by evidence from UCLA, where studies show that mild dehydration thickens the blood and makes glucose regulation more difficult. The Cleveland Clinic explains that consistent water intake improves circulation and helps deliver nutrients more efficiently to cells, which indirectly supports insulin sensitivity. Johns Hopkins Medicine also notes that seniors often underestimate thirst signals with age, making scheduled hydration an effective strategy for maintaining stable metabolic function. Researchers at Cambridge and Stanford continue to stress that consistent routines, steady sleep cycles, predictable meal timing, and daily low-intensity movement help regulate circadian rhythms, which play a critical role in overall glucose control according to UCLS metabolic health studies.